How's it, everybody? Hope you guys had a good weekend. I didn't post yesterday because I actually started coding quite late, and then I didn't really have anything to show until this morning. So today I'm going to show you what I did over the weekend, and then we'll do a little bit of coding to kind of fix up one of the screens, and then I'll keep working today and then post another update maybe later today or tomorrow morning. Anyway, so what did I do this weekend? So I've extended the screenshot stuff. So like I said, my goal is to create a UI. Sorry, I've got a Firefox. My goal is to create a UI, kind of like this Firefox screenshot thing. So you can kind of select stuff and then take a screenshot of specific elements or the whole page or the visible area. So I'll show you what I've done regarding that. So let's update my extension. So this is just a website. I still haven't fixed up the UI on the extension, but if I click screenshot, you get a little tab here, so you can save the whole page or the visible area. The functionality isn't working yet, so I'll probably do that today. So the save page is kind of interesting because you've got to take a screenshot of every chunk. So like the top, and then scroll down a bit, take a screenshot, scroll down a bit, take. It's kind of an interesting problem to solve. And then visible is quite easy to do since I can do that already. I just haven't hooked it up yet. But the main interesting bit, which is what I've been working on, is the elemental selection. So I can now click on something, and it'll pop up a little crop UI like this, which you can then move around and obviously scale. So, well, yeah. So pretty cool. And then I think it's still a bit buggy. The click event's not quite working. But yeah, so you can take a screenshot. I thought maybe you can clip to your clipboard and then there'll be a cancel. You can click on the white bit as well to cancel and also hit escape. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So now you can like kind of go around and take a screenshot of specific elements really easily. So yeah, it's quite cool. So I'll show you how I did that, and then we'll work on creating the UI of the Firefox thing. So it's got this like darker screen, and then you can kind of select behind the screen, and there's a cancel button. So I think I'll do that today. Keep it nice and small. So yeah, how did I do this? Sorry. So the code is a bit tricky because I've been using React, right, or Preact, and so I had to do this in a way that worked with kind of React's state management. So the way it works is that when you click on the element, it first of all calculates the I'll zoom in quickly for you. Okay, it's a bit better, hopefully. Zoomed in more. So it calculates the size of the element and the position and all that, and then sends it into a Preact app. So I kind of spin up a little Preact app here, and then it creates the kind of UI. So it's basically like we did this on Friday or last week. So it creates like this darker area, which is basically like a block on the left, block on the top, block on the right, block on the bottom, and it kind of sets that to the size of the window. And then in the middle bit is all empty, so that's why it's clear. But it also creates this box around it, so it creates a box, but the box has a invisible layer behind it and then a border. And so that's how you get that kind of faded UI. And then inside the box, you have a few things. So you have you got the buttons, obviously, along with the box. And then you've got these like resizable things, which are just circle divs. I don't really want to go through the code since it's a bit complicated. But so when you do like a drag, what I do is I keep a kind of global state of the position. Where is this thing? Yeah, it's pretty complicated, a little complicated. But I keep a state of the dimensions, so which is the top left point and the width and the height. So I keep a like global state of that. And then when I drag, I'm basically I get the initial point of the click, and then as I drag, it's updating the position of the box, but hasn't saved it to the global state yet because it's all. I want to keep that click event so I get the most accurate distance or difference of the position. If I do it on an event by event basis and get the difference of the x and the difference of the y, it's like way more inaccurate because you're working with like whole pixels, I guess, and so like it doesn't quite align with your mouse. But if I track the whole event, so from the click to the drag point, I can like just add that distance, and then it like tracks to my mouse like really well. And then when I let go, it updates that global state. So that's kind of how that works. A little tricky to get right. Even trickier is getting the resize to work because it's not in the same state. So I've kind of got like the drag. I've got my own little use drag box and then use resize box. And so they work in the same way, but they're different events. And so that's a little tricky because you have different resizes. So like obviously this top left one resizes the top and the left, but the bottom right one resizes the bottom right and the bottom, or the right hand side and the bottom, if that makes sense. So when I do the drag event on those, I have to kind of inject the kind of which sides it's allowed to move. And so that way I can create a single kind of event, but based on which one you click, it injects, or it kind of updates which sides to move. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm explaining this well, but it's kind of complicated to do. But anyway, here's like I'm injecting like the kind of which sides it's allowed to move based on the point config. So I don't know, a little tricky to get right, but I'm pretty happy with it. Looks pretty cool. And so yeah, now I can click on stuff and kind of like do a quick screenshot, and then I haven't worked out how it's going to interact with my backend server yet, but it should be cool. So that's kind of how that works. And then I got this nice little UI on the top left to save things. So the screenshot, the visible screen or the whole screen. So I'll finish those today. But today I want to work on the actual, that kind of hover UI I was talking about. So if we go back to Firefox and use the Firefox's screenshot thing, it's got this like darkened screen, but you can still select stuff behind it. And then there's like a little UI in the middle here. So let's do that. So where are we? Our code. Our messy code. Okay, so let's have a look. This is I'm not even sure what browser I'm in. Okay, I'm in Firefox, and something just broke. So I'll just reset the servers. So run dev. So the setup I'm using here is I've got two different servers that I'm using, which I described last week. But I've got like a npm start and then npm run dev. And the npm run dev is running like my local server, localhost 1234, with a local web page. And so that's just where is it? This live HTML page. And so what that's doing is it's linking to the Chrome extension scripts that I have, but hasn't got access to the Chrome APIs. So it's just got like an if statement to not run any Chrome specific stuff, but I can still like work on the UI because it's just HTML, right? And so I'm injecting this the kind of buttons and stuff, but it's not actually going to be able to take screenshots, but it's purely for the UI. I hope that makes sense. So I'm running my local UI server. I'll just remove these. Okay. Maybe I'll move you guys to the middle. Okay, cool. So I've got like this local page, test page, but it's running the same scripts as the Chrome extension. Well, and so now I can actually do some coding. Okay, so close everything. And so these buttons are in this like screenshot UI component. So I think I want to make a new component here, something like overlay. And we'll move these guys down here. So function show UI overlay, and then we want a kind of a div, and then, or maybe not even that. So there's a couple things I'm thinking about. So there's like a darken screen, and then above it there's the text. So if I do the Firefox's stuff, there's like the darken screen behind it, and then there's like text in the middle, or there's UI in the middle. So to do that, I think there'll be two divs in here. So the one will be the text, and then one's going to be the overlay. So this overlay will be, so it's going to be absolute. It's at 0, so that's going to like fix it. Oh, we're going to fix it actually. I think it's pretty better. So if it's going to be fixed around the screen. So whenever you scroll or whatever, it's going to be like always there. And then it's going to be kind of a bit dark. So let's see, gray 500, and then opacity 50. And that should give us a dark screen. But we want to use actual opacity. Cool, so now we've got like a darkened screen, but everything's kind of behind it. So if we move the overlay to the back of the stack, and then the text. Okay, so the text is kind of in line. We actually want to fix that as well. And just remove the opacity stuff. So now the text should be above. So our buttons are above and the text looks like it's above. Cool. And maybe we could make it darker here. Just go black. So that gives us a nice dark border. Cool. But now you can see that our select stuff doesn't work. So the way to get rid of that is to do a pointer events none. So now this overlay should just ignore everything. Or maybe not. Maybe I have to do that in the div itself. The container, because I guess the container is it's that click event's bubbling to this container. But we don't want that. Why is it there's an error? Okay. See if this works. Okay, cool. So now you can see that we have a like the kind of UI stuff still works behind it, which is cool. And then our crop UI pops above it, interestingly. Yeah, cool. So our buttons still work. Nice. So I guess we'll just move that text into the center. So the Firefox UI kind of looks like that. So it's some white text with a little box. I like how the little eyes move, but I probably won't make that. And then a cancel button. So I guess we'll do that. So what are we doing? So text. Okay, so I guess we'll have a little div for the that box, and then some text. So select elements. What does it say? You notice mine's in Spanish, but okay, so you can actually drag. Interesting. Okay, so it says drag or make it or click the page in order to select the region, and then press escape to cancel. So drag or select element to screenshot, press escape to cancel. So that'll be our text. So you can see it's up on the top there, but we want to center that. So this will be, I think, a flex. So I've got this custom class, flex column. Oh, sorry, I just want column. Flex, that's going to do a flex column and then do an item center. So it's just going to center everything for me nicely. But why ain't you working? What is... Let's have a look. Whoa, okay. This guy, okay. So it's full screen. Oh, maybe justify content. Let's see. Center, no. Why not? Needs to be display of flex. But I thought KB column does that, no? Where is KB fix, KB inset? Okay, so we've got KB column, which is applying flex, flex column, and item center. So that should work. But it doesn't seem to have any styles on it. If I just did column, maybe. Does that work? Yeah, it does. Okay. So I think looks like Tailwinds doesn't so I'm using a prefix on my Tailwind config, but it doesn't seem to apply that to extra classes, which is understandable, I guess. So I've got to apply the prefix manually here. So I'll do that. And then maybe I'll search for column, just like whole word, lowercase. So KB column there, KB column, flex column. Oh, and then row as well. I've got to do that. So I'm using flex row here. Maybe I'll just do KB row. KB row, cool. Save that. Oh, and then I'm going to save the index. So I'm using a parcel here. So just because I changed it, oh, I did save it, didn't I? Interesting. Okay, but I'll just let parcel remake that Tailwind, rerun the Tailwind generator. So it's built, and it's still broken. Oh, and that's because I haven't content. Okay, I'm using. Where are we? Tailwind U overlay. KB column, justify center. There we go. Okay. So now you can see that the text is centered here. But it's really hard to see. So let's do text white, maybe text extra large. And that should make it a bit easier to see. Maybe 3XL. Why is that so small? Okay, there we go, 2XL maybe. And then maybe like a max width. Yeah, so we'll do a max width of large, I guess. Max width large. Let's just help it wrap, and then MX auto. MX auto. Okay, cool. Now our div, we want to have, I don't know, should be pretty simple. Let's do 20 on the width and then 20 height. And then border of maybe 4. Border white. And then we want to do dashed. And give it a slight rounding as well, I guess. It's really tiny. So border white, border dash, border round. Why so small? Oh, that's because there's no prefix on the sizes. There we go. Why is it not round? border. I wonder if there's alignment. Maybe dotted would be better. Yeah, that looks cool. I wonder if there's a large dotted or something. Maybe not. If I do like border 6, what sizes are there? Border 8. Interesting. Maybe I prefer the dash. It's just the alignment seems to be strange, but that's all right for now. And maybe we'll do like a height of 16. Okay, so drag or select element to screenshot, press escape to cancel. Okay, cool. And then we'll do a button as well. So button, cancel, and what is it, class? So BG white, padding X of 3, padding Y of 2, text large, or maybe we'll do text large. Okay, now that should work. Okay, cool. But the text should be black. So, or maybe gray 900. Okay, cool. Round it. Sweet. Maybe we'll do a bit of spacing on the between all the elements, just to give them some padding. And we'll lower the height, I think, on that little screenshot guy. And I think that looks okay. Maybe a shadow on the cancel, and then on the hover we'll do like background gray 200. Ah, but there's no pointer events. That's the problem. Maybe we'll point events auto. Okay, cool. So now you can still select stuff, but you can also press this cancel button if you want to. Sweet. Looks a bit of a, oh, red. Yeah, I was going to say, color looks funny. So, okay, cool. So now we've got the kind of gray color. Maybe we'll just extra large that text. Where's the text? Where the hell's the text? Text extra large, text 2 extra large. Let me do 3 extra large. Oh, huge. And then I'll do PY, maybe P top 1, and then P bottom 2 for that cancel button. Oh, no, maybe just leave it at that 2Y. Okay. And now the size of that box looks really small. So 16, I don't know, looks okay. I'm not the biggest fan of this UI, I guess. I like the save page, save visible thing, but this UI is kind of like in the way, you know. But whatever. So if I zoom in, does it work on scroll? Yeah. So when I scroll, that works. And then you can click stuff. And I guess it has to disappear once I've clicked on the UI, right? But if I use, yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, it's good enough for now. One more thing. I think we'll just hook up that the cancel button. So there's a screenshot UI which creates this stuff. So it's doing, how does that work exactly? So I got to hook up this. So when I click on the background, it should hide everything. When I click cancel, it should hide everything. So we're at the injected click. So it's doing a screenshot element request. But that needs to hide the screenshot, the overlay. So I guess with the new function, and we'll show crop UI. That's going to call that element request stuff. We need an element here based on this guy here, which is a jQuery HTML element. So jQuery.html element. HTML element. HTML element. Okay, there we go. Cool. Why is it not working? Okay, it is working. So we want to show that screenshot UI, but we also want to close the screenshot UI. How does that work? Okay, so it's a guy there. So what's the process? It's created the div, creates a screenshot UI, but it still looks for that hover event. I wonder if we move this like hover event stuff into that screenshot UI, because then it has access to like the state, right? But not sure. Not sure what I'm thinking here. I guess I could like do this re-render stuff. So it's going to re-render the screenshot UI, but with a flag. Let's see if that works. And then we'll have some props here. Show overlay, and we'll call it true, right? It's a boolean, but always equals. How do you do that? Because that's the type. Show boolean. Maybe just hide overlay. So it defaults to false. And then we can just do like if props dot hide overlay. Yeah, I hit this like negative thing. It's like a double negative to show this. It's not the most elegant way to do this, but works for now, I guess. And in this case, this is also optional. But then here we want to do hide overlay true. So when you do the clock crop overlay, okay. I guess that works, right? So if I cancel that now, doesn't work. Oh, if I click on something, doesn't work. Oh, sorry, this has got to be that. So if I click on something, okay, kills the overlay. Nice. Guess we've got to get some work to actually re-render that overlay. And then the cancel, show crop UI. So where's my cancel button? Okay, so on click, show crop UI, but it hasn't got an element. God, this is so complicated. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to have a think, because I've kind of got a few like little React apps like popping around. So like when I click on the crop UI, it re-renders a new React or Preact component. But then also this whole overview page is showing like another React component. So they're not linked. So maybe I have to create a single one. It'd probably work better, I guess. Create a single one, and then I can manage that state better rather than using jQuery to re-render them on the fly. Yeah, but I won't bore you with that. So I guess we got the UI working. We'll click, sort of works. I just need to polish it up. So yeah, today my plan is to create the save page thing. And then potentially I'll do an update today, and then I'll update you guys tomorrow at least. And so that should all work. And then I'll spend today, hopefully as well, hooking this up to my app, my server, and then it should be almost functional. So I can like click on something, take a screenshot, send it up to the server, and bam, you're good. And so I'll spend the rest of the week polishing up the app. Then yeah, it's pretty much usable. And then hopefully by this weekend, it'll be ready, which is great. And then I'll have a week to like, do some final bits, so polish it up a little bit more, but also like get some data. So get a whole bunch of public data of landing pages and cool UI components. So probably just go through like hundreds of websites. Yeah, that'll be fun. And then launch it as well. So won't be this week, but next week I guess I'll launch this thing. That'll be fun because it'll be ready. Anyway, until then, guys, have a great day. Have a good day, and I'll see you later today or tomorrow. Ciao.